Now to your community focus. Every month we talk live with the head of the Rhode Island Department of Labor and Training, Matt Weldon.
And we are, of course, going to cover a number of topics once again with him today. He joins us now live via Zoom. Director Weldon, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me back again.
So we always like to start our conversation with you with a look at the latest trends and numbers. So where do things stand right now?
Rhode Island has come out of this pandemic in a very good place. We talked, I think, last time a little bit about the March unemployment numbers, and that's what we still have. 3.4% in Rhode Island, a very good number. For the same time period in Massachusetts, 4.3%. In Connecticut, 4.6%. The U.S. rate, 3.6%. So we're doing very well. We've regained 85% of the jobs that were lost in the pandemic, and we're doing all that we can to help industries bounce back. Right now, obviously, hospitality and tourism is still impacted. They've regained about 88% of their jobs that they lost, but they were disproportionately impacted. We need to help get them as many workers as possible so they can have a nice, strong summer season.
Director, earlier this month, we learned about the arrest of Wendy Antonelli, an employee in your office. She is accused of stealing more than $115,000 in settlement checks. She held her job in your office for about 7 years. We've talked so much with you right here at 4 about fraud checking from the outside in. What is in place to prevent internal issues?
Well, as a pending criminal matter and a personnel matter, there's not too much that I can say about that specific issue, other than my team doing their due diligence came across these potential issues, brought them to my attention. That same day, we were in contact with the State Human Resource Office and then with the Rhode Island State Police immediately after that. Right now, it's going to go through the courts, and we'll have more to say when this comes to an end. I will say that we take our position safeguarding the public trust very seriously, and I think that's evidenced by the quick reaction we had. We have a strong management team here at the DLT, and that particular position is outside of unemployment. It's in a different area altogether, which is led by a retired law enforcement professional. We take this very seriously. We get right on it when we find an issue. We deal with it and we move forward. And that's right now. We'll let this go through the courts.
Director, you mentioned job recovery sectors recovering from the pandemic, particularly the hospitality industry, and we've talked about hiring and staffing challenges that we've seen. And I've also seen some reports nationally about delays with the federal government rolling out something called H-2B visas for summer workers to come in and help in those tourism and hospitality sectors. Where do those stand? Are they available yet this year? And should we expect to see any challenges with getting summer workers on board because of that delay?
So those H-2B visas are seasonal non-farm employment jobs. And so think mostly hospitality, hotels and restaurants. And during the pandemic, those were dialed back quite a bit, if not ended altogether. So the federal government is currently considering rolling out more of these opportunities for this year. We hope it happens very soon. There's nothing the state can do until the federal government authorizes them. But in any given year, we could have hundreds of people working in Rhode Island industries from other countries. And if you go out either in Providence or South County, Newport, or one of my favorite places, Block Island, you'll notice that a lot of the staff members have name tags with their name in the country that they're from. They come here for the work experience, maybe for an educational opportunity, but it also does a lot to help our industry get by. Right now, some of the toughest jobs to fill are in those hourly jobs, face-to-face interaction jobs. Getting these visas in place will really help our economy this summer.
Yeah, I know you mentioned this is sort of up to the federal government, but have you heard any concerns from local hospitality employers who are concerned about having workers being able to access these visas?
Well, they haven't had access really to the extent that they were accustomed to for the last couple of years. So I think if we can get movement now from the federal government and the White House, then they'll be happy to onboard new staff, because that'll allow them to staff up their operations, to do more service, and to really bolster their business.
Director, we have about a minute left with you today. I want to address the bright orange banner on the top of your website right now. This Wednesday, there is a change coming to how some people receive their unemployment insurance or their temporary disability. Do people need to do anything for this to roll out correctly?
No, absolutely not. So if we're talking about the payment option, people on unemployment and TDI have two choices. They can either elect to use direct deposit with their own bank account, which is a preferred choice, or they can receive an electronic payment card. Some time ago, the vendor that provides that service told us they were getting out of that business. We went out and secured the best deal we could for the state and for the end user, the claimant, which means they're getting new cards. They were mailed out. There's about 2,200 people that get them. On May 10th, they were mailed out. They should have them in hand by now, and if not, they'll have them very soon. Their old cards, if they have a balance, will still be active until they spend those funds. but any new payments for unemployment and TDI will go to the new cards effective May 18th.
And just quickly, if someone does not receive that card and they are expecting to get it, what's the best way for them to get help with that problem?
Go right to our website, dlt.ri.gov. Call the UI call center at 401-415-6772. We can help you out right away and make sure that the vendor provides you with a card.
Always important information. All right, Rhode Island DLT Director Matt Weldon, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
And looking ahead to tomorrow, when David Siegel will be joining us live in studio to talk about why he wants to replace Congressman Jim Langevin. That's coming up in tomorrow's Community Focus.